What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to Day One Radio. As you can see, and soon here, my brother Maurice is not in the building with me, but we gonna keep it rocking nonetheless in the midst of this A3C weekend, or week I should say, here in Atlanta, and then Afro Punk coming up is always something going on. But you know, one of my guys, man, I've been knowing for well over a decade.
Hell yeah.
Was in town, and we had talked a few weeks ago about him coming on the show. I said, whenever you in Atlanta, we gonna make it happen.
Hell yeah.
And as y'all know, I'm a man of my word. So the homie, Big Omeezy in the
Hell
building.
yeah. What's up,
happening?
man? What's happening, man? Good to see you, family.
My
Good
dude.
to be out on your soil and on your green.
So first thing I gotta say, last night, excellent job.
Thank you, brother.
E40 came and rocked for the first time in Atlanta in, I want to say, since 2009, the Tech 9 tour, right?
The Tech 9 tour, and that was only for everybody who don't know, I performed with him. I was hype man.
Yeah,
I've been
I
doing
was
that since
getting
20,
to
you know. I
it.
just
Yeah.
want so it don't seem crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the last, and we only did like 20 minutes. That was,
Okay.
and that was just like the hits, the you and that's,
Yeah.
that was just the 4-piece, the 5-piece, something like that. So this was the first time for a full like hour show. You know what I'm talking about, with all the turn up and all the all the hitters.
Yeah, nah, y'all killed it. And when I say y'all, I say that like you said because you are his hype man. You bring a lot to the show.
No question. No
you know,
question.
100%. I feel like that's a lost. I feel like the hype man is a lost art in hip hop.
Well, I had several conversations with like Flavor Flav, who was like,
The
God
king.
hype
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, of all time. People really don't have conversations like that, but like Kendrick was hype man and for J-Rock on that
Yep.
tour. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
People don't even know that part.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? This brother was walking around with cutoffs and Crocs, and I'm
Yep.
like, I didn't even know who that dude was. You know, as far as Kendrick Lamar, you know what I'm saying? So, and then I found out that 2 Chainz was Ludacris's hype man. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I had conversations with Dub C, who he not really Cube's hype man, but he
support,
is.
for
He's
sure.
support. And, you know what I'm saying? He got songs that he do. So it's like I look at the big picture as art. It's 2 people that's coming together and putting down demonstrations on some like some Run DMC shit, like on some, you know what I'm talking about?
You can cuss. That's cool.
Okay, good. So like on some Run DMC shit where it's the whole focus is that we had Quiz DJ. He DJ'd
Yeah,
for
with
G-Eazy,
G-Eazy, right?
and he
Yeah.
was DJing. You know, it's we in the A, and it's like so much press, and you know all our folks that we've been coming out here for many moons when 40 was trying to climb up the ladder. You know what I'm saying? And then to come back full circle. You know what I'm saying, and do that and put down a demo. It was a great feeling.
No, that was awesome. And we got to get y'all back out here next year for the Cali picnic.
Hell
that's,
yeah!
That's a must.
I'm surprised why we keep
It's
missing that.
it's a little logistics getting away, but you know we gonna make it happen in 2020
Dope.
for sure. That's
Dope.
cemented. We gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I want to kind of get into the history too. Like you've been down with Sick With It since 1995.
Right.
You know what I mean?
1995, real spoke.
And I feel like people know you from several different avenues. People know you from the restaurant game. People know you from management. People
Right.
know you from having a bail bonds company.
Right,
People
yeah.
know you from busting heads, being a
Yeah,
bodyguard.
professional head
People know,
buster, yeah.
people know all that. But I feel like this year I've seen you as Big Omeezy, the MC.
Evolution.
Period.
Evolution. That's why I titled the album Evolution. It's just when you finally, when they are saying you got to take that leap and you got to, you know what I'm saying? So I cut off a lot of those things. I cut off a lot of those things so that I can become that which I've been attaining to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like I've always been a writer. I grew up, just a straight hip hop head, like following everybody from the Heavy D's to, you know what I'm saying, Run DMC, LL, like, the greatest to ever do it, the Kumo D, all, and I always wanted to be that and emulate those type of people. So,
Right.
With evolution comes from years of experience and years of doing your due diligence and years of finding your voice. That's like when I step and I go, that's my rap voice.
Gotcha.
I had to find that. It took me a long time to find that, but once I locked that in, it was, it was pretty much over on that.
So is that why it kind of feels like you've released several projects?
7. This is my 7th project.
Yeah, over the years. But to me, it feels like this one is like the most comfortable. the most. Like, you know what I
Talking
mean?
my talk, no question. Yeah, I used to overthink because of my background. I was always trying to be cognizant of saying the right, not cursing, and just But then now there's like a freedom. There's like a freedom in my verbiage where I'm gonna say what I gotta say. Like on like the song Boycott, when I say boycott these bitch ass niggas, like that. Even that was a jump. Like that's like saying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you should be able to express yourself and not have invisible shackles holding you back from your verbiage. You got to be able to say what you got to say, especially when you carry the moniker of being the great communicator, which is my moniker, which was given to me by my pops, because when I was growing up, I was always around many different races of people. We'd all be going to go to the park. It'd be Asians and Russians, and we can all communicate and have fun, regardless of what our parents was doing and the friction that they was going through. So that just stuck with me, but I had to grow into that.
Gotcha.
Like when I first told 40 I was a great communicator, he was like, oh, I don't get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't understand what's in my mind.
Got you.
He don't know my upbringing. He don't know what I was gonna bring to the table. So that's what we have.
Now, your pops was a minister in the nation, right?
Yeah, a minister in the Nation of Islam. He was basically in charge of the whole not western region, but the whole northern Cali region.
Okay.
From Frisco to Sac to Turlock, Stockton, Bakersfield. He was the overseer of that, all that.
Wow. I mean, clearly, anybody who's listened to the album can definitely see that there is an influence still from him.
Absolutely.
In you, and even in the album, from what the stuff you saying and the skits or whatnot. How has that kind of stayed with you? Because we talking about decades. You know,
it's
what
decades
I mean?
since he passed away. He left, and I was with him when he passed. But so
Right.
Imagine your father, who you could always go to for answers and information, not being here. And then before he left, he giving you marching orders. I want you to do this, 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 and this. You know what I'm saying? So me being on the road with 40, and at the same time knowing what my people is doing, right as I'm thinking Million Man March, all that, and he giving me his blessing to go out and seek and follow my dream and go on tour and do all that. You know, that took a big leap. You know what I'm saying? So and like I said, there's things that he told me to do that I'm still working towards, but I'm not gonna stop. So when I said, you know what, my next project, my 7th project, I'm gonna bring back a lot of this stuff. I had tapes, some of his tapes from his lectures, and I said, damn, well, how can I get this on here where, with technology?
Right.
So I went to Target. I paid like $12 for a cassette recorder. Because it's a cassette.
Yeah,
it's on cassette. Plug that thing into my MacBook. Ran it through the GarageBand. Recorded, like an hour of different tapes. Broke them down and wrote according to the subject matters that he was talking about.
That's dope.
You know what I'm talking
That's
about?
dope. So it's kind of like it's damn near.
And we
father,
going back
son
and
type of
not even just that, but on the first track, my daughter is singing on the hook.
Yeah.
So it's 3 generations on one song.
Right.
My father, my daughter, and me.
That's amazing. Man. That's amazing. What for the cover, and those of us that are watching on Live Hip Hop Daily, it's the cover of the project. The R is crossed out in
Right.
revolution to make evolution. And knowing you, I know that's not just an artistic thing. And
No,
it's a
because
meaning to it. So
it kind of go with what Killer Mike was saying recently when he was saying we not ready for revolution, because we not. Because before we can have a revolution, we have to have an evolution of the mind
Gotcha.
as a people, just with us.
Yeah.
Just as a people, not even clicking up with any other race, Mexicans or Asians and all that, Russian, whatever. Like not Russians because they obviously gonna ride, but I'm talking about all the minorities in the struggle who will be allies in case some shit unfold.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But us as a people, we got to get back to. See, we had Obama come into office, which was a blessing and a curse because we all dropped our shields. Mm-hmm. We put, not all of us, but we put down our swords. We thought, you know what I'm saying, my president is black, you know what I'm saying, my Lambo blue, you know what I'm talking about? You
Right.
feel me? And everything is hunky-dory and everything is gravitational, but it's not. Because they was remembering everything that we was doing to them You know what I'm saying? Having Jay-Z and them, Obama having hella parties in the White House, kicking and having a good time. We looking at them like, yeah, nigga, what's happening? What you gonna do? Nigga, the president's black. Nigga, say something, I'll punch. You know what I'm saying? They like, okay, we got a master plan for you motherfuckers.
Right.
Watch this.
Yeah.
And they implemented the plan, but we so resilient as a people that it didn't work. It worked, but as soon as y'all did a couple of trigger things and shit, like Gucci doing all kind of weird shit, like, you know, different people just setting little landmines, and these white people having outbursts, and we using our technology to show people, and y'all killing people and all that. That shit, we don't play them games
At all.
We'll burn down our own shit.
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying? So now the evolution of our minds, we all smarter, so that when the revolution per se, which is gonna be technological and other, it ain't just gonna be us out here in the streets fighting and shit, because, you know, there's too many guns and shit. Mass people can be killed very easily, but it's gonna be a psychological warfare that takes evolution of everything, our pockets, you know, the way we treat each other, just, you know, in general.
Nah, that's super real. You dropped the album on August 30th. How you feel about the reaction so far?
Man, it's love, especially, I really, I did it for my brothers and sisters in the nation first.
Yeah.
You know, people that knew my father, and people that need to hear a voice.
Yeah.
And my father had such a big voice that me bringing that back is just like he's back. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? And now he's back and I'm here. Mm-hmm. So now you know who I am.
Right.
And you know that, oh, he just not that rap dude or that this or that. And all this time he really was this.
Yeah. Nah, that makes perfect sense, for sure. Nah, that's dope. It's been received well. Being that the album was so personal, how did you choose the artists on it? Because some of them are kind of known, some of them are unknown. How did you choose who was on each song? Because, like, nobody, like, gets on us. So you know how sometimes we joke it'll be a feature on the song, it'll be a whole theme, and then the feature 16 will get on there and just go completely left field.
Right.
Everybody kind of stayed on topic and on task with their verses on the song. How did you choose the artists that you collaborated with?
I think it pretty much was organic. I like to have it be organic, you know, because I have albums with all kind of people, Too Short, 40, all kind. So it's nothing to get a feature if I really wanted just a big name. But these had to be the people that I knew was hungry, that was still trying to climb up the ladder, and that when they rap, it's gonna be a passion, a real passion coming from them. They really mean that shit, as opposed to somebody that I can't. If I know somebody got a mansion and doing, I can't, unless he went through some real shit, I don't know where he gonna get his pain from.
Right.
I'm looking for the pain.
Right.
Cause my shit is on call.
Yeah.
I got so many memories, and that shit is, you know, that's easy. That's like the Hawk when he say, I'm always angry. I don't need to get mad.
Right.
Cause I can always find something that pissed me off. That's me. So that's how I chose that, and it was organic, and it's like people that was accessible, and everything was organic, because, you know, like, people don't even do CDs no more, so you know, and everything the engineer was black, you know what I'm saying, like, except for one dude, he's Hispanic and white, but he the one that motivated me to finish the project, because I hashtag evolution, and that shit was 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? So because I was like, damn, I was thinking about how was I gonna put this together? Because first of all, you gotta find the beats. You gotta wait till 5, 6, 7, 8 producers send you all type of beats, 50, 20, 30 beats, just for you to pick 11.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So once you go through all them, and you gotta figure out what am I gonna talk about, what I'm gonna rap about. Okay, I know I got my father. It's just it was organic. The homie printed the CDs. You're gonna see misprints and all shit. It's all organic.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm saying on the song Double Up, right back to the streets. It's like everybody, all the recordings, everything, you can see, I could have spent hella money and tightened up all the shit, but I wanted it to be organic.
Right.
I recorded on Pro Tools. You know what I'm talking about? Like, feel me? Like, not no big ass expensive shit with all these different volumizers. Because when I recorded my first shit, I had the inbox, and I was going back and forth and rapping and pushing the space bar, and that was the ultimate hunger. Like, I'm finna tear this down. So I wanted to rekindle that. So shit, I could do another 5 albums. Why? Because I reignited myself. And I know with the election coming in 2020, I know it's going to be so much information for us to be able to rap about. You're going to need somebody like me. You're going to need an Ice Cube to come. Really, Ice Cube, when I listen to Ice Cube shit, his new shit, that's what got the locomotive started. Yeah. Because he, you know, and even if you take Fuck Donald Trump out the song, out the loop, and then take Cube out, we ain't talking about nothing. Think about it. Who else talking about something?
Not a lot of people.
That's what I'm trying to say. So, you know what I'm saying?
It's funny you say that, and you brought up Killer Mike. I literally just had a conversation. Like, I texted him. I was like, bro, we need a solo album.
No question.
Like, I know Run the Jewels is where the paper is at. I know people's paying attention to it, but we need a solo album. We had a whole conversation about it because it's needed. Like, you're absolutely right, because I always look back and people, this is extremely controversial, but like people, when we look back in the past, they always want to put De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, yada, 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 into this conscious rap conversation. And I was like, that's not really conscious rap. They just wasn't talking no reckless shit. They were like rappers. To me, Fuck the Police is conscious rap.
Right, no question.
Cube is conscious rap. KRS-One was conscious
Poor
rap.
Righteous Teachers.
Poor Righteous Teachers, conscious rap. YZ, conscious rap.
X-Clan.
You know what I'm saying? X-Clan. That's that. When you talking about what's actually happening, whether you from the hood, rural, suburbs, whatever.
Okay, that's another thing I want to say. If you listen to Paris album?
Of course.
Okay, did you remember the part? I'm saying to you that you will in a few minutes hear from the man who was taking that was my pops.
Wow.
And I'm gonna tell you, I was in Utah, and me and my white partner went to Toad Take, because he always had guap, so he buying all the shit. So he buy the CD, we riding in the car, and next thing you know, we listening to the whole shit, and I hear that, I said, what the? And we went to a payphone. I called. I said, Pops, I think you on the album. He said, no, son. Yeah, go get Paris. Woo, woo, woo. He went and got it, man, and
that's crazy.
Paris ended up doing a show for him, for the brothers. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't even there, but I'm like, I knew my father's voice. You know what I'm talking about?
For sure. Yeah. Most definitely, man. How do you like, taking it back a little bit? Like, clearly you came up in hip hop, growing up in East Oakland. You couldn't really help but to see it,
straight
to feel it. What were the conversations like when you let cats know within the Sick With It umbrella, like, hey man, I'm finna start making music, like, seriously?
Well, I was always working, because 40 had me in the studio, and I was writing, you know, I did a couple of hooks. I did some shit on Rap Your City. I did some shit on Behind Gates. You know what I mean? He let me, because I was rapping when I was in Utah when I was going to school. So I was always, you know, I had a little rap group and all that, but, you know what I'm saying, none of us was really taking it serious, but I was continuing with it. I always knew that it helped me. It was therapeutic and healing for me to be able to say what I had to say. You know what I'm saying? My first rap name was PMO, Prime Minister Omar. Okay. And I was just speaking about nation shit and kill the devil, like, you know. You know, my mentality was a little bit different. You feel me? But 40 assigned Doey Rock. I don't know if you ever, so I was managing Doey, and then he signed, and Doey started working on an album called 916 Unified, where he had a whole bunch of Sacramento artists. And my first song that I recorded is on that project called The Great Communicator. That shit go crazy to this day. I was just listening to it. Doe got the locomotive started, departed. My destination is charted. Yeah, his flow is retarded. Give him a mental overhaul and heed the call. Y'all ain't ready. Yeah, I'm bombing on Betty. Get the balloons and confetti. Alert the press and the media immediately. It was in my real angry trying to, you know, and that was that. And like I said, he got me back. And DJ Pizzo, you know Pizzo, he the one told me to get my catalog up when we was on the N1 mixtape tour. That's right when my ghetto report card came out.
That. And that's when we was at Madison Square Garden
on everything. That's when it started. And actually, we was doing the Zoom. Remember the Zoom, the Microsoft Zoom? We did the Microsoft Zoom party in LA, and it was Cool Nuts and Bosco. They was like, bro. And I was like, what? It was like, bro, you up there with 40, bro, you tripping. I was like, what you mean? You should be working on the album. But I had already started recording 2-3 songs.
Gotcha.
I was like, bro, I'm on the case, bro. Like, you feel me? And not just that, what helped me was, you know, everybody had the Motorola phones. This was right before the fall of the and everybody lost their contacts and shit.
Yeah, the Sidekick.
Right, so I had figured out how to get my contacts, and that's when Twitter had cracked. So I'm starting to hit people like Paul Wall,
Really?
all people that's folks.
Right.
And that's how I started getting all those features.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And it was so easy. If you listen to the first projects, man, I got shit.
Yeah.
I got shit. I got a song with me Stalin and fucking Clyde Carson.
Yeah.
That's when I perform that shit go crazy. So it's been fucking with 40 has been amazing, because this nigga be around the most corporate people and then the most thugging of people, the Pimp the Cans, and like the best to ever do it in the underworld and the best to ever do it in the corporate
that's
world.
super real.
And
That's
not even
super
just
real.
and we was at the Day of the East, the Harlem shit, the big photo. We was there. The Day of the West with Snoop and everybody, and the Day in the Bay.
Yeah. That's big. Everybody love 40 though. That's the thing. Like, he's one of them few people that you be like, dude, if you got a problem with Earl, it's probably you.
Yeah,
like, it's because he a pretty genuine dude.
Yeah,
you know what
talk,
I mean?
Real talk.
Yeah, exactly. You brought up something, and I want to ask you about this, and it's for those listening around the world. We're gonna get a little hyper local on this one. You even though you came up in the town in Fillmore, a lot of people know you Sacramento.
Right.
You got a strong foundation in Sacramento.
Right.
This is from somebody that's not from there.
Right.
I always wonder why it's always conflict with the artists that rise, even if they rise a little bit above, even if you got, Lavish,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a superstar,
Yeah.
but he making his bread. It's cats talking crazy about him, and the Mozzie thing, and then the Sebo thing. And I'm like, fam, you would think that like Houston did, like to an extent Oakland does, like Atlanta does, even if it is politics internally.
But all
the shit just always gets out in Sacramento for some reason.
Yeah, but everybody you name, they all really are what they are.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's real funk and real lies involved, and you know what I'm saying, real shit. So, you had to be a Dr. Phil type motherfucker, or TD Jakes, or Minister Farrakhan to come in there and and help with a lot of these things. I assume because I know all of them, if I was higher in the if I was higher in the food chain, then I could have enough weight. But I know Lav. I have conversations with Lav and Mozzie, and and I fuck with Sebo and all of them, and kind of like have Mr. Fab be like, I'm just neutral. I just pray for all my family members. That's all I could do too in some of these cases. Even if JT is my partner, JT the bigger figure, and J Diggs, I fuck with J Diggs, and you know what I'm saying. And I could just sit back and just pray for all my folks, because that's all you could do.
Yeah, I've been gone for a minute, even though I'm back all the time, and it just irritates me because I'm like, people, me and H, live hip hop, we had conversations when I think the Filthy and Mozzie thing was happening. I'm like, bro, like, this should stay in house.
Right, yeah.
Because it should be about getting this bread and increasing everybody's profile.
Right.
You know what I mean? To the rest of the country and the rest of the world. But when it's always conflict, people paying attention, but people laughing.
Yeah, but technology.
It's entertaining.
It was a brief. It's not brief, but it'd be like little windows, and everybody would go to YouTube and start doing talk.
Yeah.
He said this. Then you go over here and check this. And then he
Right.
said this, and he responded to this, and all these is getting millions of views, and you like, fuck it. Like I'm going for what I know
And
for
I
that.
think
for that
that's-
2,000
yeah.
or whatever for that meal ticket. Because you only get like what 1,700 for a million views,
Yeah.
or something like that. So for that, you'll just do whatever. You don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You'll air out your homie. You'll just put it in the air where it's
And
fair.
that's sad, man. That's sad because there's a beef that's been going on here between two pretty fucking big rappers, like #1 record rappers, for years, and it's a real street beef, and none of this stuff has ever made it to the blogs.
Right.
You know what I mean? And people know.
Well, that's how you're supposed to do it.
That's all I'm saying. That's how you're supposed to do it.
it.
You brought up that, and I kind of peeped this before you even said it.
And they made that, and I followed the rules.
Yeah.
So they set the rules. I follow the rules
Yeah.
as a pupil in the game.
Right.
And then when I start seeing people do not playing by the rules, then I can see it and say, damn, you know what I mean? That's not cool.
It's not beneficial in the long run.
Yeah.
In the long run. Talk about how, because you talk about a lot of your real life on this project. Talk about how the music helps you, like from on a therapeutic level, just to get these messages out.
Just you know, and it's like you said when we was talking about it last night. Yeah, I went through a phase where I denounced my upbringing. I denounced being from East Oakland. I was like, fuck that. I'm not giving them that. I'm not giving them that piece because that was some of the work. I lived in the village, the 69th village, and in Brookfield, and in Seminary, and on, you know what I'm talking about? 80, and a 65th, and 85th, which most people who grew up in that era, you was always getting evicted and moving and shit. I grew up with you know what I'm saying, moms having to, you know, sell the motherfucking VCR to get $5, you know, $10 to feed us and shit. We stayed in the Mission Motel right there up the hill and shit. The Raiders wasn't nowhere to be found when I was growing up. No motivation was coming through. All I seen was Hot Lips and D-Boys and niggas out there paying us $20 to box each other and look out on the roof and seeing the rollers roll up and screaming rollers and all type of shit. My shit was different. My experience was different than a lot of people's.
Right.
So that's why I feel the way I feel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if I would have seen some of the Warriors come through and I would have seen that, maybe they would have encouraged me to go to college, or maybe they would have encouraged me, but I didn't see none of that. It wasn't until I seen a poster with Herschel Walker or something with a Lambo that I even knew you could make money in football.
Wow.
Because nobody was coming. We had coaches and shit, you know, that was, you know, helping the youngsters play football, but none of that shit. I didn't see none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and I grew up eating more, all that right there. 25. We was pumping gas. We was hustling. You know what I'm saying? We had thousands of different type of hustles to survive. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say my when all y'all this, that's cool. You got different experiences. We didn't have block parties. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have barbecues and shit, you know what I'm saying? In none of the places that I stayed, not to mention when I stayed in the village, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like really was there. So me and my brother, when my mother put us on the Greyhound bus, me, my brother, and my sister, and my grandfather who worked for Union Pacific in Ogden, Utah, he had passed away. So we had already went out there for a vacation. So Mom's put us on the Greyhound bus with some fucking liverwurst, some crackers and shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
To change our life. And this was like 88, 89, some shit, I don't know. You know what I mean? And that saved us.
It definitely did, because really,
life, bro,
really 89 is when shit really got crazy.
Yeah, I was there 84, 85, 86, 87. You know what I'm talking about?
That's when the rules kind of went out the window.
Come on, my nigga, like straight up. I'm telling you what's really real, though. This was really, really, really my life, no question. And not even just that, but like I said, my father's side is from Fillmore, so you Turk McAllister living in real projects with rats and roaches, nigga, like no question. Challenge me. I got family members. Ask them. They don't even have, you know what I'm saying? But I never used that. When I introduced myself, I didn't harp on that. Nah, I'm from Utah. I want you to think I'm a square. I want you to think I ain't been through shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to have preconceived nothing. I might steal all this shit or something. I don't want you to think. No, straight out. I don't want you to think that because you can have a mentality of a motherfucker. Right. That's why when we was in Utah and we'd go to Sirius and we'd be seeing all these people from Oakland, and they would never tell you they was from Oakland.
Really?
No, they would not. Trust me. Well, you know I'm from Oakland.
Right.
Because I be having conversations. No, I'm just telling you what's real. That's, you know, it's just a fact. But the people who live there, they got motorcycles and doing all this shit. That's good. That's good.
Right.
That's excellent. I just seen a different side. No disrespect. I love Oakland. It taught me how to hustle. Taught me how to survive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we was pumping gas. We was going to the corn nut factory and the Granny Goose factory and getting and bagging all the shits and selling them. We was selling cherries and shit. You know what I'm saying? We was folding boxes at a round table. Like it was so many different hustles, but we never sold dope. But we saw the D-boys and all the shit,
course.
but we never, we were so young, we was lookouts and doing all that.
You couldn't help but
you know
to
what I'm
see
saying?
it. Yeah.
I spent my money, I was going to, you know what I'm saying, to East Mount Mall and watching the movies and shit. That was my escape. I'd be in there, I'm watching 2-3 movies. I'm watching
yeah.
Beach Street and motherfucking, you know what I mean, Friday the 13th and all this shit. I go in there, motherfucker, like 10 o'clock and leave at like 1 in the morning by myself and shit, hella scared. That's how I got fast, because the dogs would be barking. I'll be like, you know how many blocks that is from 73rd?
That's a long ass.
Yeah, my nigga, straight up.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. I want to, before we get up out of here, man, we can't not touch the entrepreneurial thing, man, because I've heard you talk about you're going to do some clothes, but what you got out right now is the sunglasses thing, man.
I got the evolutionary eyewear, and I got my clothing line. This, my big old TGC clothing. You know, and I'm gonna just start doing stuff with positive messages and stuff like that. Dream it, believe it, achieve it. You know, when we was in the 90s, 2000, we had like shirts that said "Too Black, Too Strong," Black by popular demand. Yeah. We don't really. Some people that be scared, unapologetically black and shit. Like we gotta apologize for being black and shit and saying I love being black. But we just gonna start bringing all that type of stuff back, because we gotta have pride in ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We gotta fight for each other, stand for each other, not let the system manipulate us and pimp us into doing their bidding, because we got so much power. But they know how to do certain things and set certain landmines via social media that just make us turn on each other. You know, whether it be a chicken sandwich or whether it be just whatever they want, any kind of stimuli, you know. And we just avoid that. We just avoid that. And I want to also mention, because I never mentioned this in interviews because nobody really asked me, that when Biggie was in SAC, I was there. You know what I'm saying? When all that shit unfolded, and I was back there in the back when Biggie was in the car, and I was there when Kev Dixon put Biggie on the phone, and he talked to 40 and all the shit. You know what I'm saying? They was throwing batteries and shit, and nickels and all type of shit at Big. You know what I'm saying? Shit was crazy. You see me? No, 40 didn't set dude up, I want to always give credit to Kev Dixon, Captain Safe Hope, because he was the one that was like, when them barracudas was on him, and there was some real barracudas and hyenas that was on him, he was the one that said, man, hold on, let's get E on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if it wasn't for that, it might have got ugly. Yeah, for sure, most definitely. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you for coming through, man. Man, thank you for having me, man. We in Atlanta, man. It's just a pleasure, you know what I'm saying, especially the history that we got, you know what I'm saying, for me to come on here and say my speech, man. I truly appreciate you, brother. No doubt, brother. For sure. Tell them where they can find you on social and get the project and all of that. So everything is concurrent with me, at BIGOMEEZY. This is my new project. Evolution is out right now. You can stream it on all your social outlets. You download it, whatever you want to do. And this is one of 7. You know what I'm saying. So if you want to Google me and you want to do some research and listen to some good music, some good motivational tracks, up tempo, and all that, I'm your guy. For sure. We appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate y'all watching. This is Day 1 Radio. Make sure you follow us on social media. See you next week with another dope show. Day 1. Yeah.